We are live in Banjul and this is GRTS News at 8, broadcasting for viewers in the Gambia and around the world. Our top stories. His Excellency President Adama Barrow underscored the importance of training in building stronger and professional security sectors. The Minister of Finance launches GRA's automated system for customs data, also known as Asikuda World, which seeks to enhance transparency and accountability in revenue management. Plus, the national broadcaster GRTS bags 10 awards of different categories at the maiden edition of the Television and Radio Awards Night, TRA, for the year 2021. In Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta calls for urgent activation of an East African standby force to help quell the violence in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Well, viewers, those are the headlines and much more coming ahead. With me, Marianne Ajayi, and do stay with us. Now, first in the bulletin, the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, has underscored the importance of training in building stronger and professional security sectors. President Barrow was speaking during a meeting with visiting students from the Nigerian Institute of Security Studies who are on a study tour. Now, the tour, as we hear in this report by Mamadou Jallo, seeks to look at the security challenges posed by the effects of climate change.
Institute of Security Studies called on the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, as they continue on their study tour in the Gambia. They are officers of the various branches of the Nigerian Security Services, undergoing high-level professional training on leadership and other security-related disciplines. The court has held high-level engagements with government officials, including the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Minister of Environment, on the climate change situation in the Gambia and its potential effect on security. The Director General of the State Intelligence Services, Usman Sow, described the tour as very important, as several members of the SIS and GAF are also taking part. DG Sow described the theme of the tour as very relevant, given that climate change is closely related to security, particularly in the domain of maritime security.
We also wish to report that this institute provides high-quality training at the executive level. And already in the context of existing cooperation between us and NIS, we already, and the Gambia Armed Forces are beneficiaries. We already have 2 of our graduates from the SIS who have graduated at master's level.
Commandant of the Nigerian Institute of Security Studies, Ayodele Sahid Adeleke, said the study has been a success and commended the Gambia's intelligence chief for taking the relationship between the two services to a whole new level.
At the Institute, we do training on security, intelligence, research, and strategic studies. These are things we are doing and collaborating with our brother here and the SIS Gambia, and will continue to do that.
He renewed calls for concerted efforts to tackle the challenges posed by climate change. The President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, praised the level of cooperation between the Gambia and the Federal Republic of Nigeria, describing relations as always excellent.
The relationship between Nigeria and Gambia have been a very, very strong one. And since I came to power, that have been strengthened to another level. We accept Nigeria as a big brother. And today that have been proven, because some of our highly intelligent officers who are sitting around the table, one of them who is heading the institution that you are doing this training, was trained in Nigeria.
President Barrow also pledged to support the security services to enable them maintain peace and security as indispensable elements in national development and sub-regional integration.
Security also need training. Without training, they cannot be professional. And we need professional security services as far as Africa is concerned. And I think Nigeria is taking a lead in that. As a president, I will continue to support the SIS. I will continue to support the security services in this country so that we can train our forces to be professional in the future to make sure that our country is secure.
The President finally thanked the SIS Director General and the NISS for the continued partnership in building capacity and promoting professionalism among the various security services in the drive to enhance peace and stability. Mouru Jallo, JRTS News.
Now, meanwhile, the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs on Monday presided over the launch of GRA's automated system for customs data, also known as Asikuda World, which seeks to enhance transparency and accountability in revenue management. As we hear in this report by Baba Silla, the ceremony also witnessed the inauguration of new office complex within the Revenue House in Banjul.
A colorful ceremony graced by revenue authorities, senior government officials and diplomats with the aim of improving the country's revenue collection system from manual to automated system. The new Asikuda World replaced the Asikuda Plus Plus, which is financed by the Africa Development Bank at the tune of $1,300,000. Described by many as a monumental milestone in the history of the Revenue Authority, the new system will promote transparency, efficiency, and effectiveness in the revenue system. The Commissioner General, in his deliberation while welcoming the guests, explained the whole idea of the initiative and what propelled the establishment of the new automated system.
The idea of digitalizing our revenue collection system has been central in our previous and current corporate strategy plans. To achieve this objective, in 2018, the management of the Gambia Revenue Authority prevailed on the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, our line ministry, to seek funding from our development partners to upgrade from the current Asikuda Plus Plus version to a more advanced and more flexible and more user-friendly Asikuda World version. The African Development Bank, true to its purpose, responded to our funding request and agreed to provide the required funding. Aside from the very many challenges posed by the Asikuda Plus Plus version being an analog system, the Asikuda World version is an integrated customs management system that is capable of interfacing with other systems, especially new technologies. This is the reason why so many customs administrations around the world have transitioned to the Asikuda World version.
The revenue chief also gave a stringent warning for any manipulation in the system, which he said will be met with severe consequences. Lucifer Jan, chairperson board of directors at the Gambia Revenue Authority, appealed for the recruitment of young people to ensure the realization of the system, noting that the GRA is committed to provide reliable and affordable services and also to collaborate with the private sector.
GRA has been in the process of transforming from manual processes to digital processes. With launching the Asikuda World system today, GRA has achieved a crucial milestone in its operation and a giant step towards digitalization. In this context, I wish to acknowledge the critical input of UNCTAD, African Development Bank, the World Bank Group, and International Monetary Fund. The next milestone is the implementation of the Integrated Tax Administration System, known as ITAX.
CD Keita, Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, officially launched the data system.
The launching of this system today is indeed a great milestone in the government's effort to improve efficiency and effectiveness in custom clearance processes. And this once again demonstrates the commitment of our government under the able leadership of His Excellency President Adama Barrow to promote transparency in the efficient public service delivery. The President and the entire government is committed to digitalization to enhance transparency and service delivery.
This is a paradigm for the country, not just PRA. This is a paradigm shift for the country. I think when other institutions emulate what the Commissioner General and his team are doing, this country very soon will move from this height to another height now.
Baba Silla, GRTS.
Now, Gambia Radio and Television Services, GRTS, on Saturday bagged 10 awards of different categories at the maiden edition of the Television and Radio Awards 9 TRA for the year 2021. Now, the state broadcaster was awarded the Television Station of the Year, TV News Program Award, and TV and Radio Morning Programs Award, amongst others. Some of the awardees, accompanied by the team members of the various programs, presented the awards to the management of GRTS. The 2021 Television and Radio Awards is aimed at recognizing, celebrating and appreciating the efforts of hard-working personalities in broadcast media. Well, here is an excerpt.
10 or 11 awards, because we already have another new one that just came in, which is also an award that one of our programs won, that is the French Mark. But these other ones were won on Saturday night at a glamorous night that was organized by Television and Radio Award, an organization by some Gambian youths to celebrate the leading voices and faces on the screen and behind the microphone. And of course, the Gambia Radio and Television Services, being the state broadcaster, walked away with majority of the awards, and in fact some of the top awards.
This is the CFM award that French Mark won for the past one, and this shows also the French Mark is recommended all over the country, because we receive so many calls from so many people, and they also appreciate our work, and so many schools also they call us because some students also are following the programs and they are improving through that French Mark also program. We have one event that we call the French Dance École that we also have in schools and stuff like that. So students also like that one. That's the reason that we won this award.
These awards, I mean, we are fair because for the fact that none of us knew the awardees. They are people living outside. They came to us, they recognized us, we were nominated alongside other colleagues, and the general public also was asked to vote and select who they think was befitting to win these awards. And eventually GRTS was able to win 10 out of the many awards. So I think it is a great achievement for GRTS and for the staffs in general.
We are trying our best, and we want management to support us, to continue supporting us. But when we talk about the AM show, or when we talk about television, it is all about the image, what we bring out, what people see. So we're pleading to the management of GRTS, because for the AM show, it's an award-winning program now. So we have to come in grand style, especially with the setting.
On behalf of management, I would like to congratulate you for winning awards at this historic event. For GRTS, winning 10 medals or 10 awards, 10 prizes, whatever you call them, is actually most commendable. But I'm not surprised. We are the best, whether we like it or not. Let's clap for ourselves. We are undoubtedly the best because, as I just said, it wasn't us choosing ourselves. It was our audience who actually voted for GRTS because they know what we give them. What we give them in style and in quality. So I want to say, just keep it up. We are the leaders in this business, and I'm not surprised we've won this many awards. You have management's full support in what you do, and we will do everything possible to facilitate your work. We've been trying our best, but I'm sure we'll continue to do. We'll continue.
But we are present.
Well, amongst the 10 awards won is the Radio News Anchor of the Year, and GRTS won the Best News of the Year. Now, that was the Director General of GRTS, Mr. Malik Jeng, there, encouraging his staff to remain committed in executing excellent services to the public. Now, moving on, scores of refugees living in the Gambia on Monday gathered in the community of Manya in the West Coast region to commemorate World Refugee Day. The annual event, organized by the United Nations High Commission for Refugees and the Gambia Food and Nutrition Association, GAFNA, is meant to reflect on the plight of refugees globally. Ibrahim Ajalo has more.
World Refugee Day celebrations in Manila Village, West Coast region. The day is observed annually to avail refugees the world over the opportunity to reflect on their plight. The theme for this year's commemoration is Seeking Safety is a Human Right. Yusufa Gomez is the Executive Director of the Gambia Food and Nutrition Association, GAFNA, one of the partners of UNHCR for the implementation of projects meant to improve the welfare of refugees in the Gambia. He said the event symbolizes togetherness in support of refugees.
The celebration this year in the Gambia coincided with the fleeing of some more than 600 people from the fighting between the MFDC separatists and the Senegal army in neighboring Casamance region of southern Senegal and hosted in the Fonyi villages of the Gambia. This is why an event like this one taking place today, known as World Refugee Day, with its befitting 2022 theme, Seeking Safety is a Human Right, is a very significant and worth commemorating.
Refugees cross borders from different countries due to war or conflict. The Commissioner of Immigration in the West Coast region, Lamin Jata, said the Gambia Immigration Department is conscious of refugees' rights and often serve them accordingly.
Being responsible for movement of people in and out of the country has given maximum priority to refugees and asylum seekers to be admitted upon arrival at the borders and to allow the free movement of those who choose the Gambia as their host country. The department aligned itself with the fundamental principles mentioned above in the diligent execution of their duties in providing the enabling protection environment for every refugee and persons of concern to UNHCR in the Gambia.
Usainu Bojang is one of the refugees living in the Gambia. Usainu and family fled their house in Casamance, south of Senegal, during a phase of between MFDC separatists and forces of the Senegalese military.
Since I left my house in Casamance, I lived in the Gambian side of the border. I left everything I had behind, and I'm now at the mercy of my host. They share everything with me, including food and shelter.
This year's World Refugee Day came amid tension between Senegalese forces and the separatist movement in the southern Senegalese region of Casamance, bordering the Fonyi region of the Gambia. The refugees from Casamance joined thousands of others from across the continent, who are now enjoying peace and stability in the Gambia. Ibrahima Diallo, GRTS News.
While Child Fund the Gambia presented medical items to the Ministry of Health as part of its corporate social responsibility. The presentation, which was held in Kotu, was graced by officials from Child Fund and the Ministry of Health. Aminata Isanyang picks up the rest of that story.
Campaign is about increasing awareness on the importance of skills and telling young people about some of the opportunities that NYSS as an institution under the Ministry of Youth and Sport have for young people in terms of skill development. And the campaign targets 35 schools in the Gambia, that is across 5 schools in each region. And so far we have covered about, this is the 19th school that we have covered so far. And the campaign, as right now, everything is going smooth and students are cooperative. And the administrations are appreciative of what we are doing, and the students are understanding more why they should venture into skills.
As the institution established by the Gambia government to provide marketable skills for the young people of the country, officials of the National Youth Service Scheme sensitized hundreds of students at Kayab Upper and Senior Secondary School on skills training programs they offered to the young people. Speaking shortly after the orientation, Mohammed Sora hailed the National Youth Service Scheme for choosing their school in sensitizing students on its core functions. He described the campaign as a way of inspiring young people to venture into skills work after their academic courses.
The sensitization is helping to encourage students and youth to acquire skills so that they can help themselves in future. And unemployment peoples can be reduced in the countries, and also everybody, if you cannot acquire education, you can acquire skills so that you can help yourself and your family in future.
Usman Dafe, the vice principal of Kayaf Upper and Senior Secondary School, welcomed the idea of sensitizing students on skills development, noting that the country can only develop when young people of the country fully venture into skills training.
This is what the young people need as of now. They need to have skills in maybe in how to call it in mechanic, in electricity and other fields. These are what we need, because if you look at the Gambia as of now, most of those areas are occupied by non-Gambians, and we need Gambians to occupy those areas in order to move this country forward. Because without them, that's what we call capital flow. When those people work, they will take the money back to their country, and that will always make the development very slow. So definitely, these skills is going to be very important, because it will help create self-employment and also help in our sustainable development, and also help us to make our development faster and even more sustainable.
According to the officials of the National Youth Service Scheme, the scheme undertaking this year is aimed at empowering youth in all aspects of national development by facilitating the maximum utilization of available resources to nurture a skillful youth committed to the promotion of valuable and sustainable development for enhanced growth. Usman Balde, GRTS News.
Balde there reporting again. Child Fund, the Gambia, presented medical items to the Ministry of Health as part of its corporate social responsibility. The presentation, which was held in Kotu, was graced by officials from Child Fund and the Ministry of Health. Now, Aminata Isanyang tells us more.
The Ministry of Health Central Medical Store handles the storage and distribution of medical items. It ensures the required resources are obtainable for the healthcare workers. Efforts to mitigate challenges faced by the health sector. Child Fund, the Gambia, presented medical items to the Ministry of Health. This is one of the many gestures by Child Fund, the Gambia, in collaboration with MAP International.
Once again, we are here to deliver these items, very important items, to complement government efforts in providing essential materials to our people. Like I said, it's important that we have this stuff here, and it goes a long way to helping our people, our populace, in the health sector. We all know government can't do it alone, so that's why Child Fund and MAP International step in all the time to support this very important venture.
The massive package contains valuable medical items such as multivitamins, antibiotic ointment, isolation gowns, face shields, vision face masks, amongst others. According to officials, the items will help enhance healthcare delivery in the Gambia.
Child Fund are what we call ideal partners, because each time they have items that they want to donate, they always call us, they send us an email, they say, we have this list of items for you, do you need it? And we, the recipients, we make that choice of what we need, how much we need. So every time a Child Fund donation comes, it's of items that we know we're going to use. They're items that are sought after, items that won't go to waste. I think this is an admirable quality, and we are imploring on all partners to emulate this very good act. Once again, these are items such as antibiotics, painkillers, and anti-ulcer medication. So these medicines are highly sought after. They're always in high demand. And as such, they won't go to waste, but they will be properly used.
Promoting excellent healthcare delivery is said will require collective efforts. The Ministry of Health encourages other organizations to emulate the gesture. Aminata Isanyang, GRTS.
Well, we now head to the Central Focus Office for the day's weather news. Welcome back. Now we will take a break, but up next is news beyond our borders. Stay tuned.
Hello, Sister Nya here, and today we are doing the unboxing of the AfriCell 4G LTE CPE router. Have you gotten yours yet? Here it is. Alright, now let's do the unboxing of the AfriCell 4G CPE router. I do love the sound of opening new stuff. And this right here is a beauty. What you don't know is it also takes you for an extra 6 hours of charge when there's no power. No power, no problem. Get your CPE routers now at your nearest AfriCell outlet and thank me later.
For his kitchen, Prosper was thinking big. He therefore chose big new tiles. He then thought he'd also love a new stainless steel sink and a new mixer rack. And now that we're changing the sink, we might as well buy a new kitchen counter, right?
Oh yeah, I couldn't resist.
Good old Prosper.
And yes, that's Betty Muds, Betty Days. Take advantage of exceptional discounts up to 70% on several products families. From June 11th to 25th, you will be splurging. Betty Muds, everything for construction from foundation to finishing.
Back now in the internationals, President Uhuru Kenyatta has called for urgent activation of an East African standby force to help quell the violence in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Now CGTN has more on that news report.
Well, the situation in Bunagana town in the east of the DRC is relatively calm. There have been no reports of fighting, although we've been informed that there's a very heavy deployment of Congolese forces around that area. They're planning a counter-offensive to recapture that town from the M23 rebels who are still in control of that area. We've also been told that on Wednesday there was a militia group known as the Mai Mai. That tried to enter Bunagana to take control of the area from the M23, but they were not successful. The situation has really gotten worse in the DRC. The government had a very high-level meeting that was chaired by President Felix Tshisekedi, and they decided to order the Rwandan troops, who they accuse of supporting the M23 rebels, to immediately leave their territory. They also cancelled some bilateral agreements that were signed between President Felix Tshisekedi and President Paul Kagame last year on trade cooperation. And people held a very massive protest in the eastern city of Goma yesterday to denounce Rwanda's support of the M23 rebels, the occupation of Bunagana town. They also condemned the Ugandan president, Yoweri Museveni, for being complicit in this whole affair. They're saying the town of Bunagana shares a border with Uganda, and it's Uganda that allowed Rwandan Defense Forces to pass through their territory to enter Congo to attack their forces. So there was a lot of discussion about this, and even in the parliament of the DRC, the Speaker of Parliament on Tuesday said they're seriously going to consider cancelling the joint military operation between the UPDF and the Congolese army that's hunting down the Allied Democratic Forces in North Kivu and Ituri province. So the situation has really gotten worse, and people, are urging for immediate solutions to stop more people from that.
Now, elsewhere, Turkey currently hosts some 3.6 million Russian refugees. The ongoing economic crisis is fueling rising xenophobia on refugees. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is now threatening to send a significant number of refugees in safe zones. We lived in what they say is a safe zone, and I can tell you there is nothing safe about it, says one Syrian refugee in Turkey. Well, details in this France 24 report.
I'm Mohammed Saeed Al-Raslan. I come from Duma in Damascus. I'm a Syrian refugee living in Gaziantep in Turkey.
Mohammed escaped Al-Huta near Damascus in 2018 before fleeing to northern Syria. From there, he was smuggled to Turkey.
The situation was relatively stable until now, but these latest decisions to send Syrians back make us scared.
To placate public opinion, President Erdogan has vowed another military incursion in northern Syria. There he plans to establish another so-called safe zone to resettle Syrians back over the border, an area Mohammed knows well.
We lived in what they say is a safe zone, and I can tell you there's nothing safe about it. In fact, the dangerous situation there pushed us to come to Turkey. I have 3 children. I want to raise them in a safe country. When I first came to Turkey, honestly, I imagined building a life here. But now, with these political debates, I have started putting together a file to ask for asylum somewhere else.
By somewhere else, Mohammed means Europe, and that's exactly what the European Union hopes to avoid. Last year, the 2016 migration pact between Brussels and Ankara was renewed. According to the deal, Turkey must keep its Syrian refugees in return for financial aid. But contrary to President Erdogan's wishes, that money doesn't go into state coffers. Instead, it's channeled into projects like this one, coordinated by the Humanitarian Department of the European Commission.
We select a bunch of NGOs, we give the money to them, they select some local implementing partners like this organization called Sanad that is providing a center for disabled people. They monitor the funding, they monitor the success of the program, they report to Humanitarian Aid Organization, which is us here in Gaziantep, Turkey.
There was this little boy who was very introverted. After several seasons here, he began interacting with other kids. He opened up and even started to think about his future.
Since 2011, the European Union has allocated more than 20 billion euros to help Syrians around the world. Part of that money is meant to give them a future in Turkey on one condition. Turkey must continue to welcome what the president still calls its Syrian brothers.
This now brings us to the end of this bulletin. But before we take leave of you, here is a quick look at our top stories once again. His Excellency President Adama Barrow has underscored the importance of training in building stronger and professional security sectors. The Minister of Finance has launched GRA's automated system for customs data, also known as Asekuda World, which seeks to enhance transparency and accountability in revenue management. Plus, the national broadcaster, GRTS, has bagged 10 awards of different categories at the maiden edition of the Television and Radio Awards Night TRA for the year 2021. In Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta has called for urgent activation of an East African standby force to help quell the violence in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. And that was all from me and the entire news crew. Until then, thank you for the pleasure of your company. And do join us again at 10 p.m. for more news and updates. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of our interesting programs here on GRTS TV. Bye for now.